to all the dispossessed youth of Africa, for perpetuation of communion with ancestral spirits through the fight for African freedom, and in the firm faith that the dead, the living, and the unborn will unite to build the destroyed shrines. Selah. Hello and welcome, beloveds, to another episode of Wake Up Africa. My name is Dr. Mumbi. How you doing? How's everything going? I really do pray that you are well in all your ways, beloveds, and that you're moving into living life truly on your own terms. We want to thank everybody that has subscribed to the channel. We appreciate, love you so much. Go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already. We thank you for all the likes, and especially, beloveds, the commentary. You don't know how transformational it is, especially with some of these, what may be considered controversial topics, when you guys actually give me your truths as well and back me up with, with books, with documentaries. I really, really appreciate, love it. And so many people have reached out to me and just said they really appreciate, love, that they're moving out of their religious psychosis, because, beloveds, the greatest trap is mental. The greatest colonialism is mental. We've been made to focus so much on this physical slavery and this physical colonialism, which wouldn't happen if we hadn't been conquered mentally first, because the world is mental first. And so those who are controlling, who are pulling the strings on the mental, will control and even order the physical. And a lot of and right now we're in a lower vibrational reality because the architects of this world are not true creators. They're like false creators, beloveds. So this is all they can make. They can't do pyramids. They can't do, traveling to, traveling to different dimensions. They can't do all that. They can't create crystal temples and all these things. But you see, they studied us. As I always say, they got the keys of the kingdom, but they didn't get the keys to the kingdom. And the keys of the kingdom that they realized is this mental construct. How much, what a true democracy this was, in terms of, all is yourself. And with your thoughts, you can contribute to the creation of our reality. They recognize this, and so this is how they try to make themselves creators, by turning us into a dictatorship where you don't get to create your reality. We get to dictate to you what your reality will be. And it's through all this rubbish, beloveds, like the story of Adam and Eve. I really thought this was like common knowledge by now, because the only people that are believing this, beloveds, are our people, are our Africans on the continent. So many people across Europe have walked away from Christianity. They've turned their churches into offices and nightclubs. But in Latin America and in Africa, Christianity continues to grow. The religious psychosis continues to expand. And you see, the reason it should concern us who don't even believe in it is because it's affecting the collective. It affects the collective, beloved. Like where I live in the village, every Sunday, villagers that you didn't even know lived there are going off to one church or another. And then they're coming to you, the one they see as non-Christian, to ask you to pay for their school fees, pay for this, help them with this, help them with that. And it's just like, if you even try and debate with them, they get all sensitive. But the whole thing was done to control you. It's mind control. Adam and Eve were not the first man and woman, beloveds. I mean, I really thought many of you would know that by now. I know many of you do know that. But for those who don't, that story is not true. You need to go back to your people's original story and then dive deeper. Because what I'm realizing is, even if you look at our original stories, first of all, you'll see that gods lived amongst men, that the gods intermingled with men. You'll see similarities and parallels. But if you go deeper, you'll also see that it's in code. There's a lot that our people left out. when this whole invasion happened and over, it's like they overlaid their consciousness over us. So you need to go to your own creation stories, beloveds. And there's so many. I mean, there's many that I've been sent. And for me, should I get into it? Let's take a short break. We'll be right back.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, Africa.
Welcome back, beloveds, to Wake Up Africa. My name is Dr. Mumbi Seraki, talking today about how the Adam and Eve story is not true, beloveds. It's a big fat lie. They were not the first man and first woman. And you need to go into the creation stories of your people, of your nation, and then go deeper because it's in code. Like you see, I come from a matriarchal queendom. Bayamobi, the house of Mumbi. And, but we're told that it almost has Christian undertones. We're told that, Gai, or the Most High, created Gekoyo, who was a man, then said it was he was lonely, he was found to be lonely and he was farming, etc., etc., similar to the Adam story. And then he presented the female counterpart to him. She wasn't created from no rib, she wasn't created from no freaking man's anything. But he presented this female counterpart, which suggests that she already existed. She was already here. And when he presented her to him, when he saw her, he called her Mumbi, and Mumbi basically means creator. That's how he saw her as a god. He saw her as a creator. And then it talks about how they had 10 children, well, 9, and then the secret child, which became the perfect 10, all women. So we're one of the few queendoms where our clans are named after women. And after having these, some men came, Maasais or whatever, and married the women, but they were given all the land that they could see from Mount Zion. But you see, when I first heard that, I was like, whoa. The whole thing of us being one of the few, like let's say there's 42 nations that have been cramped into this place we call Kenya. And we are one of the maybe 3 or 2 that name our clans after women. So that shows that the matriarchy thing didn't end. And then it talks about how women were in charge and then they took advantage. So the men made them all pregnant and then they took over. And that's like, you're not allowed to question anything else. That's all you're told. So that's something you have to now go and meditate deeper on. For our people, let me say. When I was 16, it was revealed to me that, when I was really, that's when my awakening journey really started. And for me, it was revealed to me that, the whole thing of Sirius B and the Sirius planets, that we came from there. And that like our gods were actually like the highest level scientists on Sirius B, and they came and they made us in their image. And they breathe, they put their life into us, the breath of life. And it was for us to be, the guardians of this garden and to kind of evolve. But it was basically to populate this planet. So that rang true to me at that time. And that blew my mind because I'd grown up in Christianity. Can you imagine trying to discuss that with any Christian relatives? So these are things that I kept to myself, but I kept going deeper. And then now, for me, the whole scope of it wasn't just one nation. There were 4 nations: the fire nation, the earth nation, the water nation, or the matter nation. That's what it should be called, matter. And the air nations, how they came together, each contributing their thing. And so many contributed to the creation of the human. So we are really a work of art. Like we have access to so many different dimensions within us when we take on this vehicle that we wouldn't have otherwise. It's absolutely like mind-blowing how they created this suit. The most highly advanced artificial intelligence. where spirit could come and interact and even feel what it would be like to have natures, air nature, earth nature. And they could even walk in. Like this was also a gateway where you could come through here, and through here, you could go and visit the Fire Nation if you have the power, if you've worked on yourself to that level, if you achieve that level of mastery, and you could come back. And so an avatar, and there are movies about this. I know so many people have asked me to get into this, but spirit just hasn't given me the go ahead. There are avatars, beloveds, who have conquered like reached the highest levels in the Fire Nation, the Earth Nation, the Water Nation, the Ether Nation, and they're here now. But the creation story is not what you've been told. And you have to go deeper, beloveds, to recognizing, breaking that religious psychosis, because it limits you so much. It limits your power. It limits your capabilities. It limits your reality. It limits what you see. It limits what you experience. I mean, imagine that in this realm, we only use like less than 6% of our brain power. Imagine what a limited world that is. So we're literally gods living like, beasts. And maybe for a season it was fun. It was like, let's see what this is all about. But that season is over. And so it's like we're returning, Sankofa, we're returning to ourselves. So you've got to break all these stories. Adam and Eve were not the first ones, beloveds. Our people may have been here for millions of years. It's even debatable how long the Mzungu has been here. Maybe he's just been around for 400 years and not like 2,000 plus. And even if it is 2,000 plus, we've been here for hundreds of thousands, if not millions. So all these things will start to give you perspective, but start to recognize that the creation story is a hoax. Tuko pamoja.